Hey guys, welcome to Cape and Cowl Cafe. I'm Nemo, and today we're going to be ranking every major character design from the Batman 2004 show on a tier list. If you guys enjoy the video at any point today, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button, but let's hop right in. Now, just a disclaimer, this list will be very top heavy when it comes to the upper tiers because the show, it just bangs so hard, okay? This show took so many creative liberties when it came to the character designs, and they took a lot of risks, but I feel like most of them paid off. Now, let's get started. All right, first up on the list, we're going to go over a controversial one, and that will have to be the Riddler. I don't hate this design. Like, overall, I think it's fine. It's just a little too edgy and emo for my taste. It really feels like they took the Jim Carrey design with the full spandex bodysuit, and they just tried to make it more dark and edgy, you know? So he's wearing darker colors, and he's got this long, black, greasy hair, and he's got this black lipstick that goes down his face, and it's just kind of weird, you know? Like, this Riddler is taking himself way too seriously, but I will say, I do like his voice a lot. Like, this is one of my favorite voice actors for the Riddler.
With every false answer, the voltage spikes.
So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into C tier. It's all right. All right, next up, we got Black Mask. And as far as designs go for Roman Sionis, I feel like this is pretty standard, kind of basic, you know? I feel like the Batman 2004 is very famous for taking risks and just having really out there designs. And with this character, they played it pretty safe. Like, yeah, it's Black Mask. I mean, I like his voice, I like the design, but it's not really anything special. It's just kind of standard, so I'm gonna throw it into B tier. It's pretty good. All right, next up, we got Catwoman, and I feel like this is gonna be a little heated in the comments because not a lot of people like this design, but I do, okay? I love this design for the character. I think it's so unique and just so different from what we're used to seeing. I really like the big ears and the red accents, the yellow goggles. I like how the whip is wrapped around the waist, so it's kind of like that's the tail, and that way we don't have to have like a weird, you know, furry tail attached to Catwoman. It just looks cool, and I really like the JJK style collar that she can pull up to, like, you know, become a scarf when she wants to hide her identity a bit more. It's just so unique and it's so different, and I just love it. This one is going into S tier. You can fight me. I love it. Like, most Catwoman designs are pretty basic. It's either a gray or a black bodysuit, but this one just adds so much personality. Like, I can't explain it. It just goes hard. Okay, next up, we got Bane, and this one is not very good. In fact, I think that this is an F tier design. This is one of the worst of the series. I'm just so confused on why they made his skin red. Like, he looks like he was designed to be a McDonald's toy. And that might be true. It was the early 2000s. But anyway, what's really frustrating about this design is he looks way cooler before he turns on the Venom and he gets all big. Like, he had this full black suit with this full face mask, and he was wearing a trench coat, and he just looked so sick. And then like, he turns on the Venom and he gets all big and the suit separates, and for some reason he's red and yellow. I don't understand it. Like, if they just made him look the same when he's big, like he just has the big black suit with the full mask, like, that would have been one of the best Bane designs ever. But I don't know. This is not it for me. It's going into F tier. All right, next up, we got the Penguin, and I feel like it's pretty hard to hate this version of the character, especially with Tom Kenny voicing him. He just has so much more personality, and he just, like, I don't know, you know, he just has way more energy than usual. And maybe that's because they made literally everyone in the show a martial artist so that they could, you know, go up against Batman. I feel like that's kind of funny, but yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, I just don't know how I feel about the Penguin being ginger. That's literally it. Like, the rest of the design is fire. He's got the monocle, he's got the pointy nose, he's got the top hat. I really like his suit, and I like how a lot of the characters who wear suits in the show have like the crazy kind of like the tailcoat flaps, whatever, at the bottom. Like, it just goes hard. But I don't know, you know, this Penguin design is very different from what we're used to, but I don't hate it. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into C tier. Like, it's just the definition of it's all right. All right, next up, we have Killer Croc, and I like this version of Killer Croc. I like this interpretation, although it doesn't really make sense for him to be Southern and from the bayou, because then shouldn't he be an alligator and not a crocodile? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I like this design. Okay, my main issue with a lot of Killer Croc interpretations is they never go far enough into the reptilian look. You know, he's always too humanoid, and I know that he's a human with a skin condition. He's not supposed to be an actual crocodile, but I really like it when he kind of, you know, continues to evolve more and more. And so he has like the huge tail, and he's got more of a snout in this design. He's got like the webbed hands and feet with claws, and he just looks like a big crocodile dude, and he's wearing a vest. I think that's fun, you know, and his voice is also pretty fun too.
My daddy used to say, you want something done right, best to do it yourself.
But I like how this version of Killer Croc, it's very apparent how strong he is, and he's just like a real physical threat for the Dark Knight. Because in other shows like BTAS, yeah, he's strong, but he's also kind of stupid. In this show, he is more of a planner, he has his own gang, and he plans this whole, little plot to flood the city and rob all the banks. I just think it's more fun. So I'm gonna throw this one into B tier. Pretty good. Okay, next up we have Dracula, the Prince of Darkness. He technically didn't appear in any of the episodes, but he was in the Batman vs. Dracula movie, which took place in this universe. I think he was translated perfectly into this art style, and honestly, he has so many different phases to his appearance, because he starts out really kind of deformed and malnourished, and he gets healthier and healthier as he drains more of the citizens of Gotham. And in every single one of his phases, he just looks absolutely terrifying. He just looks so good in this movie. And honestly, this movie low-key traumatized me as a child. I mean, we had a scene with Joker bathing himself in blood and just lapping it up from the floor. How did that pass the censorship restrictions of the early 2000s? That's just crazy to me. But anyway, I really like the shiny red highlights on his cape, and I love the big ass collar he has and the glowing blue eyes. He just looks so good. So I'm gonna throw this one into B tier. He's not gonna hold up against a lot of the S tier designs on this list, but he's still pretty solid, so I think B tier is fair. All right, next up we have the Joker, and I think this one is pretty divided. The consensus is just kind of back and forth. A lot of people absolutely love this design, and a lot of people hate it. I don't think it's perfect. It's definitely not better than, say, JLU Joker, but it's still pretty damn good. And I'm gonna say this a lot, but this one just has a lot of personality. And yeah, I'm gonna say that about most of the designs on this list, but I think it's just because the voice acting and the exaggerated character designs just really breathe more life into these characters. But with this design, I really like the purple and orange suit. I like the green dreads, the red eyes. And I'm not a huge fan of the straitjacket look from early season 1. I think that one was just kind of but I think they did a really good job at kind of making him look slightly inhuman, if that makes sense. He's got those red eyes with the yellow pupils, and he's got this just really crazy oversized jaw with the yellow teeth, and he just looks insane, Also, kind of weird, but his dogs are always out. But whatever. It's not my favorite design for the character, but I will say that the voice acting definitely elevates how much I like this version.
Nothing that won't put a smile on your face.
So I'm going to go ahead and throw this one into A tier. Now, I'm going to throw this next one in just for fun, because even though Joker's base design only really reached A tier, he does have another costume that elevates him to that S tier status, and that would have to be his custom bat suit he wore in the episode where he tried to take over for Batman. I think it was called the Laughing Bat or something, but this one's just so fun. Okay, it's like a Jokerized bat suit, but it does it without, making him wear the Joker colors. I really don't like it when they just take a bat suit and then they paint it Joker themed. This one's more fun because the bat suit looks kind of messier and homemade, and it really matches the Joker's aesthetic. You have the floppy ears, kind of like Batmite, where they're not stiff. It's just a fabric mask he threw on. He's got a pointier nose. You can see his crazy Joker smile, underneath the mask. He's got this baggier suit with this just regular belt. It's not a utility belt. He's just got a regular belt buckle. I like how the suit has visible stitches on it, and it's just messy, and it's just fun. I don't really have a real reason to like this one this much. I just love this episode, so I'm gonna throw this one into S tier. It's so good. All right, next up we got Man-Bat, and while I really do like Man-Bat's designs and other projects like BTAS, this one just takes it to another level. Okay, this is absolutely horrifying, and he looks more like a bat, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just really like what I'm seeing here. I like how creepy he is. He's got these veins that are in his wings and his ears, and he's got this fur on his back, and I really like the pale color to him. It makes him look more like kind of sickly, if that makes sense, but he's still just a super menacing villain. He just looks so cool. In a lot of other shows that have Man-Bat and the Arkham series and all that, I never really understood why Man-Bat was such a threat. He was just a slightly bigger dude with wings and teeth, I guess. But in this show, he is massive, and he's just so terrifying. I really like this design. This is probably the best Man-Bat design ever, so I'm gonna throw this one into A tier. I know it probably should be an S tier, but there's so many good designs in the show, and not everything can be S tier, so I'm gonna have to pick and choose and pick my battles. All right, next up we got Poison Ivy, and I'm just gonna say this right out the bat. I'm not a fan of this design or this version of the character. I find it really strange how they take a character who's known for being kind of overly sexualized, and they age her down to be a high schooler, but then then they don't exactly take away all of those like sexual things about the character. It's just a really weird choice. And in this show, she's aged down. That way she can be friends with Batgirl, and that's like part of her origin story. And I will say, I do like how her skin tone is like more green hued, and I always prefer it when Poison Ivy looks more like a plant person and she just, you know, she doesn't have like a regular human skin tone. Like, if she's gonna be a plant lady, make her a plant lady, you know? But I don't know. I think aging her down was a really weird choice. I don't like the haircut. It's not working for me. So I'm gonna throw this one into D tier. It's not great. All right, next up we have Killer Moth, one of my favorite Batman villains. And look, I get it, okay? He's a joke villain. He's stupid. He's not a real threat. But like, he doesn't have to be a joke villain like that. You know, he can still be a C tier Batman villain and, you know, be somewhat of a threat and like kind of menacing. You know, he doesn't have to be this bumbling loser who like never showers and so has bugs flying around his head. You know, like look at Teen Titans Killer Moth, or I can't believe I'm about to say this, but DC superhero girls. Like, they had a better Killer Moth than this show. This is one of the few times where they just absolutely missed, and his design, like when he's, you know, Chiraxis, isn't much better. I don't know. I'm kind of sick and tired of Killer Moth just being the butt of the joke. Like, let's give him some actual stories. Let's explore his character a bit more. So I'm gonna throw this into F tier. I'm a little disappointed. All right, next up we have Clayface, and I really like Clayface in the show. He is so unique. Usually when we see Clayface, he's like this really like big kind of brute character where he's more like the size of Bane, but then, you know, made of clay. But I really like how this Clayface is a little more slim, and I like the gray coloring with the green eyes, and I really like how creative they got with all of his different constructs and like his shape shifting. It was just so cool. Also, Ethan Bennett, one of the best original characters from the show. Him and Detective Yin, they're just like, I want to see them more in other Batman things. They are just so much fun. And I don't know, like, I really just like this version of Clayface, so I'm gonna throw him into B tier. He's pretty damn good. Now, everything I just said that I liked about Ethan Bennett Clayface, they just go and do the opposite for Basil Carlo. Like, I know they're probably trying to make him look different from Ethan Bennett, and they're going for that more classic Clayface look, but like, this show is just known for doing things differently, you know? And so when they just go back to what everyone knows, it just feels kind of boring, you know? So I'm not as big of a fan of this Basil Carlo design. I think it's a little basic, so I'm gonna throw it into D tier. Like, come on, let's do better. All right, next up we got Firefly, and this is another instant S tier. Like, I don't even know what Firefly looks like normally, you know? Like, well, I guess I kind of do. He has like the gray suit with like the black bug eyes, but that's boring. That's lame. Like, this Firefly is cool, okay? He's got the yellow and black color scheme with the giant jetpack, and he's got the really cool kind of bug-looking helmet. He's like shooting yellow lasers from his hand. Like, he just is cool, okay? This is the coolest Firefly. Like, I will not hear any disagreements. You're just wrong. Moving on. All right, next up, I'm gonna throw all these designs into the same slot because I kind of feel the same about every single one of them. We have this universe's version of the Justice League. They're okay, you know? Like, I feel like most of them don't really translate well into this art style, and like, they just look kind of off. I think my favorite of the bunch is Green Arrow. We'll say that he goes into A tier because I really like the shiny green highlights on his costume. But Superman, Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Hawkman, just okay. Like, they're fine. So I think C tier is pretty fair. And where's Wonder Woman? You know, like, kind of weird that she's not here. Just feels really strange, you know? Martian Manhunter looks weird. Like, I don't like his chin. I really don't like how Barry is wearing Wally's suit, you know? Like, I don't know. It's a nitpick, whatever. I don't think the Justice League was handled very well in the show. So yeah, they're mid. All right, next up we have Ragdoll, and S tier. Like, I don't really have much of an explanation for this one. He's just fun. I really like his power set. He's just kind of gross. And I like that scene with him and Catwoman in the museum. He's just a fun guy. So S tier. All right, next up we got Jim Gordon, and I'm gonna throw him into B tier. Like, the pretty solid Jim Gordon design. You know, he's ginger. He's got the mustache, the glasses. He's got the long coat. That's pretty much all you want, you know? Well, either ginger or white hair, I guess, depending on his age. But since this is like earlier in Batman's career, I guess the red hair makes more sense. I don't know. Like, I don't have much else to say about this one. Sorry. All right, next up we have Hugo Strange, who honestly has one of the coolest episodes in the entire series. He nearly tricks Batman into infecting the entire city with this like zombie disease or something. It's so cool. But even though I really like that episode and I like his voice, and I like the way he's written. He's always pulling strings behind the scenes and stuff. He's just so ugly. Like, this is one of the ugliest people I have ever seen in my life. Like, why does he have to look like this? Like, I'm sure it's because of the exaggerated art style, but like, still, like, come on. Like, I don't know, D tier. I think that's fair. All right, next up we have Solomon Grundy, another character who's typically portrayed as like this really big hulking figure. You know, like, think like JLU Solomon Grundy. He's basically just like zombie Hulk, if that makes sense. But this show takes another direction with the character. They make him a little more slim, and they lean more into like the zombie aspect and less of the Hulk. And I like it, you know? And I know that Solomon Grundy in the show was really Clayface. He was shapeshifting, but it's still Solomon Grundy. This is probably what he looks like. And it goes hard, you know? Like, again, this show is always doing something different with the character designs, and I have to respect it for that. Like, this is just so cool, you know? I really like the trench coat, and like, technically it's like this weird crop top trench coat, but like, I don't care. It still goes hard, you know? Again, I really like how they lean more into the zombie instead of just like the Hulk aesthetic. And so that's why I think this is one of the best designs in the show. This is going into S tier. All right, next up we have Spellbinder, and with this character, I was first introduced to him in Batman Beyond, where he had this really cool orange and black like spiral color scheme costume. It was so cool, and I think my attachment to that version of the character is probably why I'm not vibing with this as much. Like, I know I was just singing the praises of this show for doing things differently with the character designs, but this is like the one time where I don't think it's really working as well. Like, the monk aesthetic is kind of cool, the third eye, he's got like these red robes, but it's still not beating that original design from Batman Beyond. So I'm gonna throw this one into C tier. He's just not doing it for me as much as the other one. All right, next up we have Harley Quinn, and I know that I'm always talking about how much I love the Jester outfit, and so I'm gonna sound really hypocritical here, and this is gonna be very nitpicky, but just something feels off, and I think it's with the colors. Okay, now everyone knows that Harley Quinn's costume is red and black, and this show has so many of those like sleek kind of highlights going on with all of the costumes, and the black sections of this suit are highlighted with red, and so it doesn't make the costume look like it's red and black. It makes it look like it is red and darker red, and I don't like that, you know? Like, I feel like they should have chosen a different color for those highlights on the black section. Maybe just go with white or like a gray. I feel like it would have looked a lot better, but I mean, like, it's still just Harley Quinn at the end of the day, you know? Like, nitpick aside, this is still Harley Quinn. She's wearing the Jester outfit. I think the hat is a little too big and like too exaggerated. It's fine, you know? Like, I need to stop complaining. This is a B tier design. It's pretty good. Okay, next up we have Batgirl, and this costume is so interesting because I usually hate the purple color scheme on Batgirl, you know, when they have like the purple and yellow, but this one kind of makes her look like it's Batgirl mixed with Spoiler, because she has the black and purple color scheme, and she has like the really big kind of Spider-Man shaped eyes, just like Spoiler does. And I feel like when you're mixing all of those different design elements, it makes the purple work a lot more. I kind of like how she has like the skirt, and she has like these really long boots, and I like the black, you know, mask. And what I think works about this costume so much is she's obviously still trying to emulate Batman, but she's also not just like, oh, I'm gonna be Batman, but really bright purple. Like, this costume still has some really dark elements to it. Like, she has this black mask and cape, and she's got the black boots and gloves, and they're just highlighted with the purple. And I don't know, like, it's just working for me, and she looks really good standing next to Robin, so I'm gonna throw this one into S tier. Like, I know not a lot of people like this one, but I think it's fire. It's honestly like the only purple batsuit that I have ever liked. Now, speaking of Robin, he's next. And it's another S tier design. Okay, I'm not sorry. I absolutely love the way that he's been translated into this show. I love the mask, the haircut. I really like the dark shiny green on the costume. I like the collar on the cape. It just looks so good. And I also love the fan theory that this takes place in the same universe as the Teen Titans show, and this is Robin before he joins that team, you know? So you can kind of see the natural evolution of his costume, to where he starts out with more of like the circus, you know, clothing here, and it becomes more of like tactical streetwear when he gets to the Teen Titans team. It's just like, I don't know. I love that theory. Anyway, Robin, S tier, easy. Moving on. All right, next up we have Alfred, an absolute staple in this show. And I think this is like the sassiest he's ever been. And that is one of like the core characteristics with Alfred that you just have to get right. You know, he just needs to be a sassy British man. And they nailed it. You know, as far as his physical appearance goes, I think they did a pretty good job. Like, he looks all right. I don't think it's my favorite design for the character, but again, with his personality, the voice acting, it just elevates the design design overall. So I'm gonna throw this Alfred into A tier. Like, is one of my favorite versions of the character. All right, next up we have Cluemaster, a character who I feel like is pretty boring in the comic books. Like, he's just a dude wearing an orange suit with like a yellow mask. Like, it's fine. And honestly, I don't even like the idea of every single Batman villain being like the super jacked athletic person. You know, like, this guy is just a fat chud who rotted in his mom's basement for like 2 decades, and he just wants revenge. You know, like, I don't know. I feel like not every single Batman villain is hitting the gym. I don't think that's realistic. And I just like this episode. I like this take on the character, and I really love how Batman beats him at the end by asking him a question that he just doesn't know the answer to. Like, the one question he doesn't know the answer to. It was just so clever, so much fun. But yeah, this design is just different. I just really like how he's just a big orange man and he's got numbers on him. Like, it's just fun, you know? They're taking stuff that doesn't really work from the comics. They're adding more personality and more life to it. I'm always going to respect that, so I'm throwing this design into B tier. All right, next up, we have the Ventriloquist and Scarface, and I'm like 50-50 split on this because I really don't like the design for Scarface. Like, it leans too much into the pimp aesthetic and not much into like 1930s gangster. I usually prefer that, but with Arnold Wesker, this is my favorite design for his character. You know, like, whenever I think of the Ventriloquist, this is who I'm picturing. So I feel like I'm gonna have to throw this one into C tier just because it's such a middle of the road design for me. I really love one aspect of it, but I really don't like the other one. It's all right. Okay, next up we have Nightwing, who technically had 2 designs in this show. One of them, he doesn't really wear the costume. It's just like in a video game, but it's still Nightwing, and it's one of the only times where I have liked the disco wingsuit. The other time being the Lego Batman game that came out recently. Like, the disco wingsuit looks kind of stupid in the comics, but in like sometimes people can make it look cool, and when it looks cool, it looks really cool. Now, the other time we saw Nightwing was in the Future episode where Mr. Freeze kind of took over the future. I really like this design. I like the blue shading on the mask, and I like how the mask kind of like dips down more like on his face with like the spike elements, and I really like how the symbol is like both the eagle and the V. I feel like we don't always get both, like they kind of just go with one or the other. And this Nightwing has the wingsuit. That is something we never get to see anymore, and I think it's just so cool. It goes so hard. But seriously, that disco wingsuit just looks so good in this art style. I love it so much. This is going into S tier. I can't help myself. It's fire. Okay, next up we have Mr. Freeze, and this is probably the biggest departure from the original source material. And by original source material, I'm talking about BTAS, because that is the definitive origin that everyone accepts as like, this is Mr. Freeze. But I really like this design. This is so cool. Okay, I really like how they replaced the big fish dome helmet with like this iceberg. I think that goes so hard. And I like how the suit is really bulky, but if you look at the sleeves, you can see that Victor is a lot skinnier and he doesn't quite fit all the way into the suit. It's like he's trying to compensate and he's trying to appear more menacing than he actually is. We also get to keep the glowing red eyes aesthetic from BTAS, but instead of having the goggles, like, it's just his eyes, and that's fine, you know, whatever. But I really like how they've given him the ability to shoot ice from his hands. Like, I know that's not the typical Mr. Freeze we're used to, and this isn't the typical Mr. Freeze origin, but again, this design is just so different. Okay, I really like the use of purple on the suit. Like, it's subtle, it's just in the shading, but it just looks so good. And I know that this, you know, Mr. Freeze, he shoots the ice from his hands, he doesn't have the gun, and he also has like a drastically different backstory than what we're used to. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but like, if you're just looking at the visual aesthetic of the character and the design, it goes so incredibly hard. Obviously, this is an S tier design. Like, this is one of the coolest redesigns I have ever seen for any character, period. Moving on. All right, next up, I saved the best for last. We are going to talk about Batman. Obviously, this is an S tier design. Like, this is the Batman. Like, they just took the BTAS design, made him younger, made him look even cooler, gave him a long ass cape, you know, over exaggerated the shininess of the blue highlights. It just looks so good. Like, this is just perfect. Now, would I have preferred for the ears to be slightly longer? Yes, but that is such a minor nitpick. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, this just goes so hard. I love this design so much. Am I biased because of nostalgia? Yes, probably. This is my personal favorite Batman cartoon. Like, is BTAS objectively a better show? Yes. But do I like this one more? Also, yes. I can't explain it. And again, like, I have to mention the cape. Just look at how cool this cape is. You know, like, the next time we see Batman in live action, whether it's the DCU or the next Robert Pattinson suit. I want his cape to be this long. I don't care if it's impractical. I don't care if he's going to be tripping over himself on set. CGI the damn thing if you have to. I just want Batman to have a cape that is this ridiculously long. Please, please, James Gunn, please. All right, here is the final tier list. If you disagree with any of my rankings and you hate my guts now, that's fine. You know, we can disagree, but let's talk about it in the comments. Now, if you guys enjoyed the video at any point today, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button and drop in the comments down below your favorite design from this show. Let's talk about it. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.